Hello there guys, what is going on? It is Seka here on the commentary desk. Welcome to round 13 here at Belgium of the Xbox One European Series here at Spec. We are currently into qualifying at the minute and we will be doing a nice race today. Hope you guys are all doing well, and let's begin to get into the race here. So here we have a couple people going out. One of them being looks to be one of the Mercedes here. Got a few more people coming out here. Got a Ferrari coming out that looks to be not too sure what that is, but let's start having a look. We've got one of the Williams here, CJ Allen, out on his outlap. Also got our previous driver of the day out on his outlap. Unfortunately, the previous race's winner is not attending today's race. So he won't be able to have a second victory in a row, or have a chance at, that is. Unfortunately, so we will not be seeing anything of him today. So pretty much everyone is out on their outlap other than Giles at the minute. Let's have a look at Nemesis here. Nemesis wasn't having a particularly great race last week in he's not looking too bad at the minute though. Last race he seemed to have a bit of issues. He span out, I think it was twice. However, here in qualifying he's looking quite strong on the mediums. So here we have Kenzax for Williams. On the softs, coming into Eau Rouge. Very nice exit out of Eau Rouge into Radion, and now coming down the straight. I will say the Williams steering wheel is absolutely beautiful. Let's get the spectator menu out here, because that's better. Oh, don't know if I saw a bit of a spin there or not. Right, let's move on to somebody else. Let's have a look. We've got a new driver here today. We've got Dan Tomil, or Tom Lee 11, here in Mercedes. Here he comes down here. Coming into the chicane. Will Frizzle setting the fastest lap, or 1:49. Kenzak's just coming behind. Here he goes through the La Source. Taking it a bit wide and spinning there. Dan Tomley into a second there. Coming up into Eau Rouge, into Radion, and down onto Kemmel. Onto the Kemmel straight, here he comes. Coming nicely down into the comms. into their comms, turning out towards Malmedy, heading towards Brussels. Leasing Mender retiring from the session after a lap. We've got one person on the intermediates with Haas, Sombra Dulaire. I believe he is a new driver as well. So a lot of people are setting some nice laps today. I do believe Kenzak's. Yeah, all of these drivers are appearing to have a little bit of speed issue with this rain. It's getting quite heavier now. So DRS is disabled, and there's a Sector 2 yellow flag. Oh, it's Nemesis onto the gravel there. He's having some issues on those mediums, especially in. Oh yeah, he's spinning those wheels quite aggressively. A lot of people out on the intermediates now. Everyone that's on the intermediates do not have a lap time yet. Nemesis spinning again. He's really struggling on these mediums. Kingly Sheep there letting Nemesis past. Coming down into a Blankymont now. I think Nemesis has given up on this lap at this point. Maybe he's going to go and pit for some intermediates. Yep, Scotty F1 retiring from the session there on the intermediates with no lap. Not too sure what happened there. So Kingly Sheep and Robson is in the pits. Giles, here we are. Giles on the mediums. Giles had a nice race last week in Monza. Not Monza, sorry. We weren't in Monza. So Giles came P4 last week. And Scotty also came in P5 if I remember correctly. He went from P11 or 12. So he started at the back, however he came forward. Giles going into the pits there. So we've got CJ Allen here for Williams out on the intermediates. Let's have a look at some intermediate laps. See how these intermediate laps hold up. I do believe they won't hold up to laps like Will Frizzle's and Dan Tomley's and Kenzak's. All of those, you know, up there with the 149s, you won't really get anything faster than that. Seeing how the rain's coming down harder, especially without DRS now. Alan taking it very calmly there as he comes into Eau Rouge. Yep, off the throttle, maybe just a little bit. Down through Kemmel. On the Kemmel straight. Let's see how he approaches the com. Not too badly actually. He's not being too aggressive, he doesn't want to spin it. Okay. Got a Sector 1 yellow flag, do not know who that is. That is Sombra Dulaire for Haas, and G. Bryce is also retired. I don't know if everyone's retiring on purpose or if people are actually crashing into walls. So here is Sombra Dulaire's teammate, Puncher, on the wets. Sombra and Puncher, I think, are both new drivers. Pretty sure Puncher is a new driver. Not too sure on Sombra on his outlap. Let's have a look at CJ here coming down through And into oh, Sombra Dula retiring from the session. Here's CJ Ellen though, coming down into the chicane. Let's see what a lap he sets. 158. Yeah, nobody's really going to be able to get up there today. So whoever's at the top now, Will Frizzle, is pretty much set there, especially as he set it on the softs. Not looking like too much of a great qualifying today. Giles on his out lap on the intermediates. Giles wants to set a good lap. We've got just over 5 minutes to go here in the qualifying, and it's quite interesting in a minute. I do believe Leasing Mender crashed. I'm not too sure. I think he crashed. Is Giles taking it quite aggressively, or let's find out as he goes into the source. It's going to be quite a bit of a fight for these mid places on the grid today. Hopefully the race brings us some decent weather. Here he goes. Down into Brussels. Here he goes. Heading towards the double gauche. Here he is, turning into the double gauche. Through those. CJ Allen retiring from the session. Not sure if that's out of crushing or not. Allen really is showing some brilliant driving so far. Giles also showing some not too shabby driving through this rain. And oh, don't know if that's disqualified that lap. Yep, he's really screwed that lap, and onto the grass here by Blankimont going into the chicane. Just about screwed that lap. He's gonna go for another attempt though. He's not giving up. We're gonna watch the Haas of Puncher in a minute, just to see. A lot of people have retired, and a lot of people are sat in the pits. So Puncher here. We're gonna watch. See how Puncher does. Haas coming into these two turns. With the helmet to match as well, the nice gold. Is he managing to pull off some decent times though? If he makes this lap, he'll definitely end up at least maybe 9th, depending on how good of a lap he manages to set through this rain. it's not looking like too much of a unfair battle, especially with Loveland, previous winner of last week's race, being out of the race today. It's looking like quite a fair field. All of these people that have pitted on the softs and the mediums, though, really have some good luck going into the race. Giles sitting at 156 on the intermediates there. Let's see how Puncher comes into Puncher setting a 2 minutes, still coming in 10th. Let's go have a look at Giles here. He's enjoying his gears a bit too much there. I think he's given up, yeah. Puncher here though, looking to probably set an actual lap. The rain is absolutely hammering it. And there you go, Giles retiring. Puncher really trying to get that speed, but not quite achieving it, with barely any grip on his wheels in this rain. Hopefully the race doesn't go as poorly. Hopefully Haas manages to get a maybe a midfield appearance here in Spa, but at the moment qualifying, it's been about half of the people who've actually set a decent lap in the dry, and half of these people are setting their laps in the wet, and they're not going to be able to catch all of these 149 laps. However, the race may bring something different. The qualifying just sets your place on the grid. Here he comes. Does he set a better lap? No, he does not. And there we go. That is about qualifying remaining. So now we're just waiting on Puncher here to either finish his lap or retire from the race. It looks like he's going to set a lap. I think he may be determined. No, maybe not. Nope, he's given up. Just waiting on Puncher here. Doesn't look like he's going to retire. He is a new driver, so he's not going to retire. Looks like he's going to finish his lap. There we go, Puncher's retired from the race now. Much better. So there we go, we have a Ferrari up top, setting on 149.57 on the softs. only 3 people managing to set laps in the wet on these wet tyres. So we're going to be looking at an interesting race, which is pretty good. Hopefully, the race is a good one. It is dry here in Belgium today. We're in for a dry race, boys. We're in for a much different story to the qualifying we just had. And now we wait for the race. Here we go. Race is now starting. Here we go. And we're on the formation lap. Here we have the pole position Ferrari of All Frizzle. Warming up some tyres here. Just behind him, the new driver, Dan Tomley 11. Coming in P2 for a first race, that's not bad. Could it just be luck though? Let's find out in the race. Let's go down here to Nemesis here, starting P5. Hopefully he does not screw his race this time. Now, Eau Rouge is going to be an interesting one. Belgium is notorious for being a first lap knockout for a lot of people. Robson down here in the Renault, we haven't actually checked him out today yet. Here in P7, I love the helmet. As I said before, the helmet is very nice. Here we have Giles in the Toro Rosso. Where is it? Oh! For some reason he's on the grid. Same with Alan, and the same with G. Bryce. Here we have a Sombre Douleur. New driver for Haas here. And all of the drivers are now approaching the chicane to come into the podium and the grid. Let's find out today who will be taking the podium here in Spa. Here we go. Drivers are on the grid. Here we go. And green light, and away the drivers go. Coming in to the first turn here. Let's see how many people this race manages to catch out. A lot of people taking it a bit wide there. Let's have a look from the midfield here. Dan Tomley going down to P2. P4, sorry, from P2 to P4. And, oh, is there contact? Yes, there is. Plenty of people crashing out here in Eau Rouge, as I predicted. Scotty F1 ending up P12. And a lot of people heading up in the grid. So we've got Nemesis here down from, oh, he's took that wide. Down from P5 down to P10. Could we be having a repeat of last week? Kingly Sheep already in the first lap having a 3-second time penalty. Leasing Mender, I'm pretty sure he crashed out in qualifying. And he's not having too bad of a lap. Let's go up to the pole position here. Will Frizzle holding that pole position with keen arms. He's not having anybody else's hands on his position. Will Frizzle, of course, setting the fastest lap with a 152 on the softs. So Nemesis into the pits here. Obviously, I'm not too sure what happened to Nemesis here. Coming in for his stop. Moving on to the hards. And he's getting a new wing. Bryce with a 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. There he goes. There goes Nemesis. 3 people in the pit. Nemesis exiting the pits. Puncher and Bryce yet to pit. There we go. Puncher coming out. This was my previous driver of the day last week. Let's have a look. Scotty here in P11. We'll check back on Scotty later. Let's have a look at the Williams here of Kenzax. We've got a train of cars coming down here. Oh, and Kenzax on the outside. Kenzax wants that P7 from Robson in the Renault. And oh, into the pit. And WW Hyperphase Tfue setting the fastest lap of the race. Giles here in P5. Can Giles get a better race today than he did last week in P4? Can he get a podium? Once again, we'll have to wait and see. Sombre here in P6 for the Haas. Not too shabby for Haas at the minute, other than his teammate being in P13 because of an incident, I'm assuming. Haas are doing very well in the P6. Leasing Mender just behind him in the Alpha. Leasing Mender being the one to watch apparently. Onto the grass a little bit there. Will Frizzle setting another fastest lap of the race in P1. 148 on the softs. Beating his P2 rival. Robson. Oh, Robson onto the grass there. A lot of 3-second time penalties going to be going out this race as well. Oh, and Robson cutting the corner a bit there. Dan Tomley with a 3-second time penalty here. Been quite a few of these so far. Ooh, Robson into the wall. Robson making a mistake there, giving his position away to Allen. Could be a bit of damage there. Wouldn't surprise me if there was. Sector 3 yellow flag. Someone else must have spun out here. Yep, Robson going into the pits. He's got damage. Scotty F1 retiring from the session. There's Scotty F1's AI, yeah, Scotty. Scotty's given up. Kenzak's here for Williams. Behind his teammate in P8. Kenzak's looking fairly fast as a Sector 1. G. Bryce retiring from the session today as well. Wow. Let's have a look at Hyperphase Tfue here. G. Bryce appears to have lost it at Radion apparently. Giles with a 3-second time penalty. And the Mercedes here into pit lane. New wing for him. And out he goes. Kingly Sheep with a 3-second time penalty also. Sombre retiring from the session there. Not too sure if anything happened, but Sombre appears to have lost it maybe. Yep, there he is. Sombre lost it into Eau Rouge. Let's go up to his teammate here. Ooh, Dan Tomley just behind Giles on the podium. Giles is on the podium at the minute. Giles appearing to get away. Giles into P2 as Kingly Sheep had pitted. Giles on the mediums, he can come out, stay out for a little bit longer. Let's figure out. So Giles has come up 6 places. And he appears to be on, he's on 6 lap old mediums. Many people on hards there in the midfield. Oh. Kenzak's here on the hards, 4 laps old, down in P8. Let's have a look at Nemesis here in the racing point. There he goes, leasing Mender. As I said before, apparently the one to watch. On 7 lap old, softs into P3. Obviously overtaken Dan Tomley here. Mender gonna need to pit sometime soon, especially on these softs. They have to be getting worn now. Mender sliding a little bit there. Sector 2 yellow flag. Oh, it's Kenzak's. Kenzak's into the wall. So it's Giles on the mediums in P2 now. Mender more than likely trying to get that catch up. Mender slightly over the curve there. let's have a look at Giles. Puncher, sorry, not Punisher. Puncher with a 10-second time penalty there. Sector 2 yellow flag. Who spun out this time? Ah, here we go, Will Frizzle into the pits for his first stop of the race. And out on the mediums. Also, Mender here coming in for his stop. Giles goes into first, as though he hasn't stopped. Mender here exiting out. Will here in P3. Not too bad after a pit, P3. In front of him, the Williams of CJ Allen on 9-lap-old soft tyres. He's going to need to pit soon. Another Sector 3 yellow flag. Nemesis. Nemesis retires from the session. That 2 times in a row, Nemesis has retired. Unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Giles here, absolutely powering through the pole position. He's determined to get that that finish. Not pitting this lap either. CJ Allen into the pits and out on mediums. Robson here looking good on 5-lap-old hards. There's a lot of people on mediums. There's barely anybody on hard tyres, which is a good and a bad thing. Leasing Mender here, already pitted obviously, and into P5. Mender on the grass a little bit there. Mender chasing down Kingly Sheep here. Finish Sector 1 yellow flag. That looks like Robson there. We're halfway through this race. Lap 11. Mender coming in for that P4. Mender taking the outside line and Kingly taking the inside. Kingly being quite defensive there and keeping his place in P4. We've got a battle for 4th here, boys. Kenzak's with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, leasing Mender with a 3-second time penalty. Clear to see why. Mender with the DRS. Overtaking Kingly Sheep there. It could almost be like a swapsies, I guess. Robson into the pits again. Speeding in the pit lane, 5 seconds. Penalty there. And Mender appears to go onto the outside quite viciously. Giles here. Giles still not pitted on the medium tyres. Doesn't show any signs of slowing down either. Could he be pitting this lap? No. Giles absolutely not pitting on these tyres. Could we be looking at a P1 win for Giles? Will Frizzle with the fastest lap, 147 on the mediums. Could we be looking at a podium for Giles though? That is more than likely. Mender here looking very coordinated through Eau Rouge. Two Williams here. And there is a 40-second difference between these two Williams. That completely shows the gap in this race, as Giles nearly coming up to lap puncher there. Giles showing no sign of slowing down either. However, he's gonna need to pit. Although Will right on his tail now, he's losing time. He needs to pit. There he goes into the pit. Will obviously taking his P1 spot. Giles down into P2. Quicker he can get out, quicker he can get back on the track. There we go. Giles into P3 on soft tyres. Giles going for a bit of a sneaky tactic by the looks of it there. Giles getting more grip and probably being able to last the rest of the race on these soft tyres. Leasing Mender here behind Giles, and Kingley quite far behind Leasing Mender now. Alan and Dan right behind CJ. Kansas. Robson here, and Puncher. So Will up here, coming into the chicane now. With the rival Mercedes about 10 seconds, 11 seconds behind him, and Will setting another fastest lap with a 147.9. And doesn't look like anybody else is going to be setting a faster lap than him. However, Giles catching up with the Mercedes on the softs. Giles really taking these soft tyres to his advantage, being able to hopefully get some real fast racing. And maybe being able to turn into these corners a lot faster than the Mercedes is, which means you can catch him. Here he comes, trying to catch that Mercedes. Giles really wants that P2. Robson with a time penalty. Oh, Will with another faster slap. Will just gets faster and faster. But Giles on the softs, just setting a faster lap than Will, and he wants that overtake. Giles going to be able to get the DRS on him. Is it enough to get the catch? Oh, it's getting him close, very close, and coming into the braking zone. Let's go a bit further back to Mender here. Just cruising with CJ and Kingley right behind CJ. We've got another battle here between CJ and Kingley, as well as Giles and Hyperphase Tfue there. Kingley looking very fast compared to Alan, if not on par with Alan. And oh, that, oh. How far is Dan Tomley behind these two? Just in viewing distance. And Kenzak's all the way back here. Robson back here and Puncher back here. Will Frizzle pretty much nearly a lap on Puncher. Oh, Giles getting the overtake on Hyperphase there. Hyperphase not having any of it, but he has to let off and let Giles through. However, through Eau Rouge, and oh, a bit of a corner cut there, and Hyperphase gets the DRS on him. Bit of a controversial move that was, I'm gonna say. Personally, that was a bit of a undercut. Giles taking it a slight bit wide. Still managing to sort of gain on Hyperphase. Giles absolutely not giving up. He's catching him, He's catching him quite nicely there. Coming into the chicane, could be looking at an overtake here. Goes on to the outside. Not squeezing him, but going to the inside, and Hyperphase on the outside. Giles getting the DRS on him. Giles gaining P2 here, with Hyperphase just behind him. Oh, it's a brilliant battle. Oh, Hyperphase absolutely lost it there through Eau Rouge and planted it into the wall. Wow. My god. That was a big crash. And Leasing Mender gains P3 there. Wow. Hyperphase absolutely smashing it into the wall. Up Eau Rouge. Giles here cruising in P2. Probably feeling a bit more comfortable having Hyperphase off of his tail. Hyperphase really making a big mistake there into Eau Rouge. Mender about 2.5 seconds behind Giles, and CJ about 2.5 seconds behind Mender. We've got a battle here, especially for the podium. It's not too close of a battle, but give it a lap or two, we could be looking at some closer battles. There's nobody really close at the minute. Kingly Sheep is the closest to a person at the minute, just behind Dan Tomley. Dan Tomley getting a 3-second penalty for cutting the corner up Eau Rouge. Riding the curbs quite a bit there. CJ getting closer and closer to Mender. CJ down to 2 seconds behind Mender now, and he's only getting closer. It's very minimal, but he's getting closer. And he's starting to lose the time again there. King not really gaining on Dan there. Two more laps to go in this race. Let's take a look at Will here in pole position, with Giles a good 12 seconds behind him. It's looking likely Will is going to be having a victory here in Belgium today. There he goes, riding the curbs nicely. He's really thriving on these softs. Quite a good strategy from Giles here. Strategies are quite a big part of winning a race. Kenzak's into the pits. There he goes on to soft tyres. With only 2 laps to go. There are really not any battles going on now. Will Frizzle setting another fastest lap, meaning we're into the final lap of the race. And it's looking like Will Frizzle. And it's looking like Giles has got a podium today. Let's take a look really quickly. We have here Leasing Mender going up 9 places. Giles going up 6. Dan down 3. Kenzak's down 4 places. Robson only down 1. And Puncher up 1 place. I'm going to give my driver of the day very soon. And sector 2 yellow flag. What's happened? Did Robson spin out? I do believe that is what has happened. Robson down into P9. Here he comes, Will Frizzle. Down into the chicane. And we have our winner of the Belgium Grand Prix here at Spec. Will Frizzle wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Giles coming into the chicane. Coming in P2. Ah, that would be why. It was not the final lap. We still have 1 lap to go. Anything could happen in this lap. Do apologise for that. Leasing Mender running out of fuel along with Will and Giles. Obviously, doesn't really matter, they're on their final lap as long as they keep their fuel enough for this lap. Kenzak's with a 3-second penalty. Cutting corners, obviously. That seems to be a common one in a lot of these races. Kenzak's with a fastest lap though. And I am going to give my driver of the day today to Leasing Mender as we watch Will Frizzle into the chicane. And now we really do have our winner of the Grand Prix here in Belgium. Will Frizzle coming in P1. Giles coming into a chicane. And we have our P2 onto the podium, Giles, with Mender coming in behind. And Alan into P3. Dan into P5. Kingley into P6. Kenzak's. We're gonna have to wait for Kenzak's. Robson appears to have finished his race. Kenzak's, however, and Puncher both going to be taking about a minute. 5 different people disqualifying from this race today at Belgium. 5 different teams losing out on points today as well. And here he comes for Williams. Kenzak's restoring the grid with a 3-7 win for Williams today. The only pair of racers left on today's podium, and Puncher here restoring the faith in Haas after his teammate spinning out and crashing. We have concluded our round 13 here at Belgium in the Xbox One European Series at Spec Esports. Thank you guys for watching today. Here we have Ferrari of Will Frizzle taking pole position. Coming in second, Giles, and third we have Alan. Brilliant race today. But now, gonna see if we can get an interview with the winner of today's race. We have Will Frizzle winning today's race for Ferrari with no time penalties. Brilliant race. Today we're going to see if we can get an interview with Will now, just to find out how he thinks the race went for him. And we're going to see if we can get a lovely interview. So obviously, Will Frizzle is your winner for the Belgium GP today. And I don't believe we're going to be able to get an interview with Will today. I'm not too sure. We'll give it a minute or so. If not, we'll end the stream. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get an interview. So, that concludes today's race. I hope you guys had a brilliant time watching today's race. And I will see you guys next week. It's been Seka, and I'll see you in next week's race.